Hi, this is Mr. Baker. I'm reading a book called TheFlowerProwler, and it's from Disney's Minnie Mouse series, and it's written by Catherine Hapka and illustrated by Sue DeChico. Page 1. One spring day, Daisy Duck rang Minnie Mouse's doorbell. "Hi, Minnie," Daisy said. "I brought you some marigolds from my garden." "Daisy, you're such a dear," said Minnie. "They'll look perfect with my daffodils." "Definitely," Daisy agreed. "Daffodils are my favorite flower." "Mine too," said Minnie Mouse. But when the friends went out to Minnie's backyard, they had a big surprise. "My daffodils!" Minnie shrieked. "They're gone!" Next page. "What happened?" Minnie Mouse cried. "They were here yesterday." "The stems are still here," Daisy Duck pointed out. Minnie looked more closely. "You're right," she said, "but the flowers are missing. It looks like someone chopped them off with something sharp." "This is terrible," Daisy Duck said. "It must be a flower prowler." Next page. "What's this?" Daisy asked a moment later. She pulled a few strands of fuzzy white hair off a bush near the daffodil patch. "Is it a clue?" Minnie Mouse asked. "Maybe the flower prowler left it." "Maybe," Daisy said, "or maybe it's from Fluffy's bow." This is Fluffy. Next page. A moment later, Minnie's doorbell rang. Mickey Mouse was standing on the porch. "Hi, Minnie," he said shyly. "I brought you a present." He held out a big bunch of daffodils, and they were tied with a fluffy white ribbon. "Oh, Mickey," Minnie cried. "How could you? You cut down my daffodils." "What do you mean, Minnie?" Mickey exclaimed. "I bought you these daffodils at Power's Flower Shop because I know daffodils are your favorite flowers." Minnie smiled. "Really?" she said. She was glad that Mickey wasn't the flower prowler. Next page. Minnie, Daisy, and Mickey decided to look around town for the flower prowler. They headed to the park and found Goofy with a daffodil in his lapel, and he was playing with a yo-yo that had a fuzzy white string. "Gosh, Minnie," Goofy said, "I didn't do it. This daffodil came from Power's Flower Shop. Mr. Power is having a sale on daffodils today." "Really?" Minnie said. "That's quite a coincidence." Daisy Duck nodded. "Maybe we better check out Mr. Power's flowers right now." Next page. And this is Goofy. The four friends went to Power's Flowers. They peeked in the window. "That's Mr. Powers," Mickey said. Minnie saw that the shopkeeper had a pair of scissors and a fuzzy white mustache. And his shop was full of daffodils. "He did it!" she cried. "I know it." Next page. Minnie and her friends burst into the shop. "Where did you get these daffodils?" Minnie asked. "From a farmer named Mrs. Pote," Mr. Power answered. "She delivers daffodils here every day. But today she brought dozens of extras." "Aha!" thought Minnie. Where can we find her?" she asked. Mr. Power answered. "That-a-way," he said. "You can't miss her. She has fuzzy white hair." Next page. Mrs. Pote's farm was called Pote's Goats. "Yes, I delivered extra daffodils today," Mrs. Pote told Minnie. "My favorite goat, Flower, usually eats a lot of them as soon as they bloom. But today, Flower didn't seem very hungry, so I had extra." Next page. That gave Minnie an idea. "May I see Flower?" she asked. Mrs. Pote led the friends to a pen, but there was no goat inside. "Oh dear," Mrs. Pote said. "She must have escaped." "Look, there's a hole in the fence," Mickey said, pointing. "Now what do we do?" Daisy exclaimed. "Not only are Minnie's daffodils gone, but so is Mrs. Pote's goat." Said Minnie, deep in thought. "Maybe these two mysteries are connected." "What do you mean, Minnie Mouse?" Daisy Duck asked. "I just figured out who the Power Prowler might be," Minnie Mouse exclaimed. "It's someone who really likes daffodils. Someone who likes them even more than we do." Daisy held up the fuzzy strands of hair. "Don't forget this," she reminded Minnie Mouse. "Isn't it still a clue?" "It sure is," Minnie Mouse agreed. And so is this." She pointed toward a trail of footprints. "Just follow me." Next page. Minnie and the others followed the footprints straight to Daisy Duck's yard. There was Flower, happily munching away. "See," Minnie Mouse said, "I knew it. There's our Flower Prowler. Now if we could only train her to eat weeds instead of daffodils." The end of The Flower Prowler by Catherine Hapka. Thank you, kids, for listening tonight. Bye and have a good night.